Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're tackling a pretty concise set of sources, actually.
Mhm.
They all seem to point towards one specific idea, the process of creating a strategy plan.
That's right.
So our mission really is just to unpack these particular references you've shared, and we'll see what insights we can pull out.
Yeah, and the sources are very focused. They essentially give us, a few key labels, some names,
hmm
but those labels are really specific.
They are, and they jump right into what looks like part of a step-by-step approach. We see step 3, create strategy plan, IP42.
Right. And what's fascinating there is exactly that level of detail.
Yeah.
It's not just saying make a plan.
No.
It's specifically called out as step 3,
Mm.
so presumably part of a bigger sequence. And then it's got this distinct identifier, IP42.
And the sources link this directly to Mikkel Kwesnot and YouTube channel at S4H Lab for you.
Okay.
So yeah, we're looking at a defined piece of a method, it seems, shared through a specific person on a platform.
Okay, so let's try and unpack what this structure suggests, just based on what we have. If this is step 3, create strategy plan. Well, the label itself suggests this is where the work kind of culminates, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. You've probably done some analysis or maybe research in steps 1 and 2.
Presumably, yeah.
Yeah.
And now in step 3, you're consolidating all that, turning it into, an actionable roadmap.
So taking insights, turning them into actual objectives, actions, maybe figuring out resources, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about that IP42 tag? The sources give us this unique code. What does that imply?
Well, the sources you give us, they don't explicitly define IP42, so it can only go on the label itself.
Sure.
But just having it there, that specific code attached to step 3, create strategy plan. It strongly suggests particular method, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, like a specific framework or a defined way to actually do the strategy creation part within this Mikkel Kwesnot system.
Precisely. It's not generic planning advice. It points to a particular technique, maybe a version, that's being used right at this stage, IP42.
It's like saying, okay, for this part of the process, step 3, here's the method we use, and we call it IP42. It signals that, within their overall system, step 3 isn't just some abstract task. It's done using a specific labeled approach.
Exactly. And that specificity, even just in the labels, tells us this is probably a codified process. For you, perhaps, thinking about your own strategy, this kind of highlights the value of having a defined method for each stage, instead of tackling the whole thing as one giant, daunting task.
Right, breaking it down, numbered steps, specific methods. It could make it feel much more manageable.
Definitely.
And the fact that it's tied to Mikkel Kwesnot and that specific YouTube channel, it means this isn't just theory, right? It's a methodology someone is actively sharing or maybe teaching.
Correct. The sources basically act as pointers. They give you a concrete place you could potentially explore this structured approach further, especially if you find that idea appealing. A defined step 3, a specific method like IP42, maybe that resonates with your own planning needs.
It definitely makes you curious about what steps 1 and 2 might involve, the preparation bit, before you actually create the plan.
And what comes after step 3, implementation, review,